been waiting for you.
We think maybe we should take Danny to a doctor as soon as possible.
Give me the bad Marge. Give me the bad. That was a great episode.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to The Simpsons?
What did happen to it? It used to be really good.
I know. Did they change the people that wrote the stories?
Well, when I used to watch it when it was good, Brad Bird, who of course now is a very famous scriptwriter and director who did The Incredibles, The Iron Giant, Mission Impossible 4. People argue is the best Mission Impossible. I beg to differ. And this summer's Tomorrowland, which was a box office bomb. He used to write and produce The Simpsons along with a guy called John Schwartzwalder and another guy whose name escapes me, who also died sadly this year, and he's like mid-50s, very young. But when those three guys were on The Simpsons, that's when it was at its kind of like subversive best, with like, you know, jokes and naughtiness and
For all ages.
well, multiple level things. Bit like Family Guy, I think, pushes it too far, but I think Simpsons, the old Simpsons, had the right balance.
Anyone can watch Simpsons, and no matter what age you are, you're going to find something funny in it. Whereas I think Family Guy is something more for kind of like stoners, because it is really random.
Yeah,
It's a little not underground, but it's a little more of an acquired taste. I think I like it. American Dad's the better of the two, but then if you're going to do cartoons for being politically incorrect and kind of current and to date, you've got to go with South Park, man. I've grown up. I don't remember a time before South Park.
Have they ever done any Terminator stuff in South Park?
Kind of. They turned Barbara Streisand into Mecha Streisand. She was this
That's
massive
Godzilla
Jew,
reference, though.
like Jew robot. Not really, because she was a robot. She wasn't. It was amazing. Mecha Streisand.
And we are off. This is the 2-Minute Terminator. Sorry if you were fooled into thinking this was a discussion about cartoons past. We are here to discuss the Terminator films. One in particular is the latest Terminator film.
Yeah.
And a box office bomb that was Tomorrowland, made by Brad Bird, is quite telling, because I'm just reading on Forbes that Terminator Genisys is a box office bomb.
Really?
Yeah. At the time of press, and this was 7th of the 6th, 2015.
Oh wow.
So, God, today
So
or
what
yesterday?
what actually makes a box office bomb? It didn't make the amount of money that they expected it to. Is that?
I don't know.
or
I
they
think
didn't sell.
back in the day, I think people used to go from box office receipts for America only. So if something was a hit in America, they'd consider it a hit, and they never ever tallied up the foreign grosses versus the domestic.
Those Americans.
So Terminator's not done actually that good. Apparently, another film that didn't do that good either, though, was Pacific Rim. That grossed 100 million in America.
Sounds like a porno.
Pacific Rim.
I always bring the smut. I have to. I'm the foul mouth supermodel.
Well,
I'm
according
not
to
a
this,
supermodel.
it's bombed, but then again, has it? Because it doesn't make that much money in America, and it's only been open for like a week or two, hasn't it?
Well, apparently The Abyss was a box office bomb.
That actually was a legit box office bomb, though. That didn't make its budget back.
Yeah, well, I thought it was an amazing movie.
The budget for Terminator Genisys is 155 million, and it opened with 27 over the Friday and Sunday weekend.
I don't know that a film should. I don't think a film's worth should be based on how much money it makes. Because
No, but
obviously, if you're going to do,
well, it should, because the whole, it's art and commerce, isn't it? You can make
but it
your film.
depends how much money you put into it. They might spend stupid amounts of money on special effects or paying an actor too much money. Like, there's so many different things involved. I don't think that the sole worth of a film should be based on how much money it makes.
Well, sadly it is. Otherwise, there wouldn't be any films if no one paid to see them. A little bit like this podcast. If no one donates to the podcast, it will stop. Patreon.com. 2-Minute Terminator.
That's your trope now.
Welcome to the 2-Minute Terminator. After that long-winded 4-minute
Hello.
interlude. Hello, I'm Ethan McKinley.
And I'm Ellie Fitzgerald.
This
Hit the
is the-
music! Said it before you.
Howdy, stranger.
Don't say howdy, stranger, to me.
I'll be back.
This is the 2-Minute Terminator, where we destroy the Terminator franchise 2 minutes at a time. I'm Ethan McKinley.
And I'm Ellie Fitzgerald.
And yeah, we're not doing our regular show today. This is the actual. We finished season 1 of Terminator. We finished with the film number 1, Terminator 2, Judgment Day, Skynet edition in brackets. That's next week. But now, what everyone's been asking for, we've seen Terminator Genisys. And apparently it's tanking at the box office. Jurassic World has gone back to the top spot again and is fast becoming like one of the biggest movies of all time, which I'm shocked by. Because 1, it's the 4th sequel. 2, it's not really that great. And there's so many other films that should have be making that kind of money that haven't. I'm going to start by saying Terminator Genisys isn't that film. That shouldn't be making more money because it's not as good as Jurassic World. Yeah. So Ellie.
Although I wanted to see Terminator Genisys at the movie, and yet I have no desire to see Jurassic World at the movies.
Jurassic World's good. You'd like it.
I don't know I would.
You would. Try it.
I might skip that one. What did you think of the movie, Ethan? Let's start off with your opinion.
Terminator Genisys?
Yeah.
I liked it. But, you know, it was all right. It wasn't great. I think the marketing wasn't that great to start with. I think was it last October? We had lots of pictures of the characters. We had Matt Smith. There's going to be lots of spoilers in this review, by the way. So if you haven't seen the film yet, it will be ruined if you
tune
listen
out
to
now.
this. Yeah, Matt Smith, who actually at the time was rumoured to be Skynet, and turns out he was. I guess to be developed in a later sequel of this proposed trilogy.
Which there's probably going to be.
They
left an opener for that.
Well, just because they leave an opener, as we said in our prologue before the credits, that not necessarily if you make a zinger or an open-ended thing or a button on the end of your movie, and if you are watching the film or you walked out of the cinema early, shame on you, because halfway through the credits, Marvel comic style, there is in fact a final scene which sets it up for a sequel.
And everyone missed it apart from us.
Yeah, everyone missed
Literally everyone walked out.
To be fair, if you had missed it, it wouldn't have made a difference to your life or this franchise, to be honest.
No, but I'm glad that I didn't miss it because I saw it. I saw it all.
We've got Emilia Clarke playing Sarah Connor,
who I really disliked.
Who's
since when was
good
Sarah
in Game
Connor
of Thrones,
chubby?
not a bad actress at all, but yeah, she didn't seem like the warrior woman that Sarah Connor should be. But then again, I had a debate with someone on the internet, Kevin A. Ranson, the author extraordinaire, that she didn't need to be that because this is an alternate timeline, but I feel that was a cop-out. Yeah, and I suppose Arnie's back.
He is indeed.
Arnie's back as the old Terminator. I guess the best thing about the film, really, and the thing that holds the film together, and they've kind of made that work. You've got Jason Clarke as John Connor. What did you think of Jason Clarke as John Connor, Ellie?
I didn't like it.
Did you feel anything either way, or you didn't like him?
Don't you mean Christian Bale? Oh, that's Terminator Salvation.
Jason Clarke as Christian Bale as John Connor.
Keep thinking about Salvation. Yeah, no, he was okay. He was for me. I was actually surprised. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
Yeah,
I was really expecting.
I enjoyed
it
it less than I thought I would.
Really?
Yeah, like I said, the marketing, the first trailer, I was like, oh, this looks crap.
See, all the build up to it, I was like, oh god, this is gonna be so bad.
And I think
but I actually enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
By the third trailer in, I was like, this might actually be really good. And then I fell again and was like, maybe it's so bad it's good, therefore it'll be okay. Yeah, I don't know. I thought the action was pretty cool. I liked the fact that Arnold Schwarzenegger was in it, but not too much. Like, he wasn't like the sole kind of although he should have been
of the movie. I don't know. I kind of like the fact that I didn't want them to kind of lean on that too much.
Well, does it feel like a Terminator film?
It did, yeah.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Really?
The weakest of all of them.
Of
what I class as Terminator movies. I don't class...
Hang on. You saw for the first time yesterday Terminator Salvation.
Oh, it was so bad.
That's the weakest Terminator film, isn't it?
No, for me, like, there's 3 Terminator movies now, as opposed to 5. So it's Terminator 1, Terminator 2, and then Genisys. I don't count 3 and 4. I really don't.
Really?
No.
Why didn't you count 3?
Because it was, even though Arnold Schwarzenegger was in it, Schwarzenegger, I just thought they just massively missed the point. I don't see the point in that movie even being made. I just thought it was rubbish. I don't think it added anything to the timeline.
It's more of a parody as well.
Yeah.
The guy playing John Connor's...
I thought that the female Terminator was just ridiculous. Notice there weren't any female Terminators in Genisys, by the way.
Sexism.
at its
They want a
best.
black Spider-Man, but not a female Terminator. What's wrong with the world? Come on.
I know. Salvation again. I think what they get so wrong is the casting. The people they cast in these movies, they're just bad. Christian Bale was bloody John Connor.
Well, he had that famous spat on the set when he was screaming at people. That's what it's from,
Yeah.
Terminator 2. And McGee, apparently he said in a recent interview he'd never work with McGee again. I'm not sure how much of it is McGee's fault. But I think Terminator Salvation, which I've turned on in the last 24 hours because I thought it was the third best one, and it's actually
You
not.
fickle son of a bitch.
Well, it's not really about Terminator.
No.
It's set in the daytime, so it immediately robs itself of that look.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, like I said on a previous episode of 2 Minute Terminator, of which this is, forget I said that when a new filmmaker takes on a franchise, they want to put their kind of fingerprints on it, and usually it never turns out good because they forget the key things, the key elements that keep a film. The Terminator films, I think they kind of got that right with the new film, better than the other films in terms when they're in that kind of like the future war at the start. The Terminator's there with all that like red neon. It looked very like 1980s and kind of comic book. So they got that perfect, I think.
Almost like the pink lasers.
Yeah. It had the four-legged kind of like Terminator HKs, like those spider-looking things.
They really remind me of.
Well, they were meant to be in Terminator 2. The tactical time weapon, that kind of thing, the spinning thing, was designed by Cameron for Terminator 2, but they didn't have the budget because they put all the money into the liquid metal effects for the T-1000 at ILM. That spider walking looking thing that's in Terminator Genisys, plus the time displacement spinny time travel machine, that's from Terminator 2 as well.
Yeah.
So basically the start of this film would have been the start of Terminator 2, sending back a Terminator. So 2 would have gone through and you weren't going to be sure which one was good and which one was bad, or if they were both bad or if they were both good.
Okay.
So they've taken a leaf out of that book and retained that look. As for the casting, Emilia Clarke playing Sarah Connor, and well, the reason for that is Alan Taylor, who's the director on Game of Thrones, was been given this project, so I can only assume he's gone, I want Emilia Clarke to be Sarah Connor.
Do you reckon she's fucking him?
No.
Do you reckon she's wanking him off with those fat titties?
No.
Okay. Which apparently look bigger in this movie than they really are. Actually, no, because you then showed me some lovely rape scenes. They were rape scenes. There's no consensual sex going on.
There's no consensual sex in Game of Thrones.
Yeah. I take back what I said, actually. The guy that plays John Connor, I thought actually he did quite a good job.
And that brings us swiftly on to Jai Courtney as Kyle Reese.
Oh, God.
Now, weirdly, which
his actual acting is bad. Like, I thought that when he was doing it, I was just like, this is shit. I could act better than this. Literally, and he's in a fucking huge movie. I just thought he was terrible.
Well, this is like a thing on the internet that like people are like, has he sold his soul to the devil? What's his agent doing? Like, he must have the best agent in Hollywood because he keeps being put into these like enormous projects one after another, and everyone just goes, "Why is that guy in this?" And still,
maybe he's related to
keeps
someone
coming
in the
back.
business. I don't know.
Well, it reaches back to Terminator Salvation because the last person they did this with was Sam Worthington. He was like, "This guy's amazing. He's a movie star."
And he played Marcus.
Check this guy
right?
out. He played Marcus, right? The kind of like.
I think he did a
Terminator
better
human
job than
hybrid.
fucking Jai Courtney, though.
Yeah. Well, I think now he's slipped into character work, and I think Val Kilmer's a little bit like that. Not that Val Kilmer can't carry a film, but there are some actors I think that get pushed into the limelight who aren't limelight actors, and then you put them in like a supporting role or a character role, and they shine. And all the films Sam Worthington is in now, like Sabotage and stuff, he's actually really good in. But when you put him front and center, he doesn't have that extra thing that makes him a star.
Yeah,
And
he's definitely not a star.
They're trying to do that with Jai Courtney, but I don't think Jai Courtney's got the acting chops or especially the star power or charisma to keep being put in these like giant, enormous Hollywood projects.
And even like the dialogue that they had him like performing, I just thought it was really shit. Like the way he was around the Terminator, all these like shit like jokes and jibes, and I was just like, he's just bad. I just didn't like it. Also, in that first scene when you see John Connor and Kyle talking in this, like, I don't know, it looks like a fucking changing room. There's like this moment where they're both really, like, their faces are really close to each other, and in the cinema I'm thinking, are they going to kiss? It was, I don't know, it was quite gay.
Homoerotic. So
Yeah.
homoerotic, it makes you sound like a cinephile.
I'm not a cinephile though.
Well, it
I'm not
sounds-
here to pretend I'm something.
It's a
I'm not.
highbrow film discussion.
Yeah, I know, but that's not why you brought me on this. Let's be honest. You're the one that comes up with the facts and the jargon. I just chat shit and say the occasional bad word.
Would you have any issues with the start of the film or anything good or bad? I mean,
I like the fact that there's lots of Terminators in it.
they brought back the laser weapons,
There's-
which
yeah,
was good.
I
which
love-
They didn't have in Terminator Salvation. It was machine guns.
It was
They were machine gunning Terminators with regular little
actually
guns.
the guns they use in Salvation. Terrible.
Yeah.
You had that water Terminator where they had to like strap it down, like, and people were on it when it was like before they were like switching it off or whatever. And then the next minute you've got fucking Christian Bale shooting it with some small piddly little gun, and it's like, that'll sort it. Kill that. That's just bad. And no, what I liked about this is the actual action in this movie. I thought it was quite good. Like there's lots of Terminators. The Terminators actually I thought looked really cool.
It was a bit like Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull for me,
Okay, why's that?
in the sense that not the pre-credit scene, kind of, but the ending or the epilogue story that usually action adventure films or James Bond films, they have the end of the last adventure, then you have credits, and then you have their new mission. Whereas this future thing, it was like, oh, this is amazing. But as soon as it kind of went out from it's not 1984
Yeah.
Terminator anymore, and it became that adventure, it kind of lost its shine. The same way
Yeah.
in Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull, is as soon as you get out of that warehouse and the nuclear bomb goes off, which is obviously everyone's
It's like Thor.
it stopped being good because it lost all its Indiana Jones-ness, and this kind of lost its Terminator-ness. Weirdly, I like the fact they went back into it, like Back to the Future 2, and you saw the film from a different angle, and they went back in and play with that. And if he is CGI, the CGI Arnold Schwarzenegger is like leaps and bounds ahead of the CGI Arnold Schwarzenegger that was in
Salvation. That was so bad. Again, I didn't actually know. That was a little surprise for me.
Which was literally a stagehand off camera throwing pots of Play-Doh at the actors. And it had pictures of Arnold on it. That's how bad the effects were.
Yeah, that was terrible. So the opening to the movie, great, and then we had the recreation of the scene where we had Chino Fats
Williams.
Yeah, Chino Fats Williams.
Who's in Weird Science.
Indeed.
And Terminator and
Yeah.
Roadhouse. Patrick Swayze throws him his car keys before his final pictures.
We had some dude doing a very good rendition of, I thought.
Yeah?
Yeah. And I think they recreated the original scenes quite well, apart from the actors that they chose to play the punks.
I like someone's when the film comes out to obviously put the scenes side to side and see which one's an original shot and which one they've recreated.
Do you reckon they took original shots?
Yeah, because I think the scenes, where the two forks come down to pick up the garbage pail thing in the first Terminator, I think there's a shot in Terminator GenisYs where they kind of like, where the two things are going into the side of the bin. I think that's just a rip-off shot, an exact shot taken from Terminator 1.
Okay.
The only question I might be wrong is the fact that Terminator was made by Orion, which is now owned by MGM, and Terminator GenisYs is made by Paramount. So unless they paid Paramount for that footage, but they probably just save money and recreate their own. But it must be like a hard job to kind of recreate the right lighting and stuff. But
yeah.
We'll see when we get a copy of the movie.
We shall see. So the beginning, like you said, going back into the original timeline, thought that was pretty cool. But then again, when it kind of goes, when the timeline changes, and then it goes to Sarah, Amelia, or whatever her fucking name is.
Amelia Clark.
And can I just say, I hate the fact that she calls the Terminator Pops. I thought that was so shit. She calls him Pops.
Did they call him Guardian at all in the film, or no? Is that just the press kits have called him Guardian, right? What's wrong with Pops?
I just think it's lame as. Yeah, don't like it. Pops of all the names.
Well, what did you think of the recreation of the 1984?
It makes it sound like someone's
Terminator stuff?
granddad. Huh?
What did you think of the recreation of the 1984 LA Observatory stuff?
I really like that. I thought it was good. Like I said, I didn't really like the actors they chose as the punks, but I thought it looked really cool. I actually liked the fight between the CGI young Terminator Arnie and the now Terminator Arnie, and it actually kind of cleared what
The now Terminator.
Yeah. like Arnold Schwarzenegger as he is now, where he's got that really bad dye job, and I remember saying like, why don't they just let him have his grey hair? They do later on in the movie, so they get rid of that part. But no, I actually really enjoyed that fight scene, although there were a few slight inconsistencies, like he gets whacked around in the face and it doesn't really show much damage.
Well, there's lots of superhero moments, isn't it, where it's like they
smashing through, like
they grapple each other, don't
Yeah.
they? And then like their feet go crack into the concrete. But if there was that much like pounds pressure on someone, you'd rip out of your shoes,
yeah.
or your skin off your feet would rip off. And there's a scene where like Pop's Terminator gets his head smashed into a lamppost,
And there's absolutely no damage whatsoever.
and then he hits 1984 young Terminator around the head with the God, what is it? The telescope.
It's a telescope, and then half
his
his
head rips off.
But that again, that is a trope in itself, isn't it? When you see half of the skull and the eyes exposed of the Terminator. But again, I don't know. I kind of like that. I did like that.
Do you want to know a little bit of trivia about the
Always
the
hit me
time
with it,
displacement
Ethan.
equipment in this?
Yes, please.
Oh, also the intonation that he knows Kyle has to go back.
Oh, John Connor.
Because in Salvation, he's looking for Kyle as well, isn't he? Because he's in the concentration camp.
We've also missed the fact that just before Jai gets sent through time, some dude in the background grabs John Connor from behind and smothers him and bums him.
It doesn't bother me. It's actually, I guess it's the human clone or representation of Skynet who's among them.
Exactly, but we don't know that at the beginning of the movie.
And he puts his hand in his cheek and starts injecting him with kind of like nanobots to kind of like replace every cell in his body, which what creates the new John Connor Terminator, which weirdly was ruined in all the marketing. Why would they showed so many of the twists that might have made this a better film if you'd not known about them.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. But again, I mean, I didn't know how they were gonna have it that John Connor became a Terminator. I wasn't sure how they were gonna incorporate that. Whether he'd
badly, because it's at the start of the film he's just the Terminator, so deal with
But
it.
at the start of the film, I because obviously there was that spoiler in the trailers, I thought that initially that maybe John Connor was a Terminator.
Well, he is a Terminator.
Not right now. Before he sends him back, he's not.
No.
But that's what I mean. When he's just like, when he's saying, oh, you know, I've got to send you back and blah blah blah. When he's talking to him about his mum. I was like, is he the Terminator at this point? Like, I don't know where I am with this. Whose shoes are these? Yeah, so I found that, I don't know, bit a bit fucking Jai Courtney, or I don't know, he's like really chunky, isn't he?
He's not someone who
He
would
looks
be
like a
living,
Polish dude with
eating
steroids.
He wouldn't be somebody who lives in like a post-apocalyptic future, would
No,
he?
definitely not.
Michael
And
Biehn
actually,
was
that's something
kind
that
of
you
scrawny looking and straggly.
That's something that you did like to come back to quite a lot when we were watching Salvation, and that was the impeccable condition of people's teeth in post-apocalyptic times.
Yes, Moon Bloodgood, who played the kind of sexy wannabe girlfriend of Marcus Wright, the Terminator hybrid. Had
Where's
lovely
she from?
teeth.
What are her roots? What's her origin?
I don't know. I looked her up on IMDb as we were watching the film and I couldn't
She's like
find that. She just said
Vietnamese or
she's
something, or-
American. She's some kind of Asian mix.
Yeah.
Some Asian fusion.
They always pick
like a
like a
restaurant.
Puerto Rican chick or like a...
Oh, that Terminator, he really bought my potato.
That was brilliant.
The spinning time displacement equipment, Ellie, designed by James Cameron.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Abandoned in Terminator 2 because they didn't have a budget. But guess
Yeah.
what?
What?
Robert Zemeckis took that design and created the space-time machine for Contact. Have you seen Contact?
Yes, with Jodie Foster about the
That
aliens.
thing with the spinning concentric rings, they stole that for Terminator 2.
Now that you've drawn that link, I can see that was indeed
That's what it is.
true.
Now, there was a weird subplot in the film. Skynet no longer exists in this alternate timeline, does it? It's called GenisYs, which is like an
Genesis.
operating system like Google or like...
It
like
links
Apple
all
mixed
of
with
your
Google
electronic
devices.
systems and devices all together. It's all part of one thing.
So the little kid in it...
They actually do that in South Park as well.
The
Trapper Keeper.
The little kid in it was having flashbacks of like Sarah Connor touching his hand. Who was that again?
That's the kid that is
Kyle.
Skynet.
Oh, I didn't get that at all. So the little
Really?
kid all the way through it that touches Sarah Connor's hand, that's the little kid who merges with Skynet?
I'm assuming so, because that's the little kid, and then obviously at the very end of the movie he like starts evolving and then becomes because he keeps saying to him, "You are Genesis is Skynet. This is that. That is this. Blah blah blah." Remember?
Oh yeah. So as Genesis kept coming back more and more, the hologram of that boy kept turning more into a man. I didn't get that at all.
Oh.
Did you get that?
I just said it.
But did you? Wow,
Yeah.
I didn't follow that. At all. Did you like the recreation of
That's
Kyle's?
because you were fidgeting like a motherfucker,
Kyle's
and you
travel.
fell asleep.
I fell asleep for 1 second. I went, and my head went backwards up my head,
Yeah.
and the crack of my
He
neck.
touched the
went up
imaginary
again.
bosom of Jenny.
Yeah.
Right, where did we get up to? It's kind of difficult trying to remember. So we've gone back in time. No, they've sent Jai back in time.
Well, he arrives and they recreate the alley scene, don't
Yep,
they?
the alley. Right, okay, cool. So we've had the
And
fight
the
between.
guy goes, "Hey, buddy, did you see a real bright light?"
Wash Day tomorrow.
And then we cut to the punks. Basically, were played by 3 different actors.
Indeed.
Uh,
One of them looks like the lead singer from Green Day.
My only question with that is, why didn't they just not recreate the looks of the punks? Because they've done it perfectly for the guy whose clothes the Terminator is meant to steal.
Because it costs less money to pay these non-existent actors.
No, I'm saying you get non-existent actors, that's fine.
Oh.
But why give the Green Day guy the black Hulk hair?
Oh yeah, that's bad,
When
and
you
it's
can
quite clearly a really bad dye job.
Recreate the blue hair that Bill Paxton had with the tire tread down the face.
Yeah, that was cool. I kind of like that.
And Brian Thompson.
That'd be a
well,
really cool outfit for TG.
tire tread on your face.
Yeah.
Might just like you got a dirty face.
Blue. A lot of people in there have got a lot more than dirty faces.
The punk,
TG is Torch Garden, by the way.
punk that Brian Thompson played in the original one as well gets his heart punched out. He's got the one in this one has got a Mohican. I know it's like an alternate timeline, but I don't know.
They're sticking to the original, but they're making it their own. I think that's kind of what they're saying here.
Yeah, I just would have liked to see some blue hair as opposed to that Green Day Hulk hair.
But then, so we see the fight between the old and the new
Were
Terminator.
you impressed with the Arnold
I was, actually.
recreation?
Yeah, I was. It wasn't quite the what do they call it? Something Valley.
Do you want some more trivia? When he takes his hood off when he's walking towards him, because I've been waiting for you. There's a stagehand following behind him. I wouldn't do that because that's like whoosh, down the mic. She's rubbing her chin off the mic.
Says the guy that was going.
That was the last episode, and we pre-warned the guests.
Oh, that's all right then. We're gonna fuck your eardrums, but we'll let you know
When
about
he peels
it.
off his hood, there's a guy behind him with like a piece of fishing wire pulling the hood off to make sure it goes off evenly.
Made my nose run now. It's one rule for you and another for me. It's your equipment, I guess. So they have this epic fight. God, I don't know how to describe them. So you got the CGI Arnold and the real Arnold. Obviously, the real Arnold wins the fight. But how does he win the fight, Ethan? Do you remember?
Well, actually, Sarah Connor shoots the Terminator.
But before we know it's Sarah, we just see like a gun sight, and we don't know whether they're shooting at both of them or whatever. But they kill the CGI, the original like curtains.
The young Arnold.
Yeah. And he kind of like collapses towards new Arnold.
Mm-hmm.
And like that, I thought that was quite cool. The way he just kind of went.
Sees that. Yeah,
Although
that was cool.
I did find it weird actually, because it's the first time that you see like the aging process in one of the Terminators, because his hand does that weird glitch thing, doesn't he? He gets thrown.
I thought that was a consequence of the fight he just had, though, and that glitch.
When I first saw it, I was like,
later.
"Why the fuck are they doing that?" Because again, with this movie, when the Terminator moves, it makes sounds, whereas in the original movies, you never really heard like.
Does he make? Oh, I thought that was an affectation of the sound department being stupid.
No, wow, it could be. But yes, you see his hand like starting to like falter and like fuck up. Whereas Ethan thought it might be because he was having a fight. It wasn't. It's because obviously as the Terminator is now getting older and older and older, his body's the endoskeleton's getting a little bit rusty, I guess. But yeah, just before the new Terminator murks him.
Skynet would make though. There's the freeze frame.
There we go.
The gun that Sarah Connor uses to kill the Terminator. Oh, also, when she shot the Terminator in the chest, so it makes a massive explosion. It just fizzles in his chest, and that just stops him. But the gun she uses is the same gun from RoboCop when they're trying to fight RoboCop, and they've got those giant like guns.
Oh wow, I
Yeah.
didn't make that connection.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Hey, buddy, you just stole my pants. T-1000.
What was the name of the original hobo?
I've forgotten. It was episode 7. Episode 7.
Do you reckon
everyone.
he's still alive?
Season 1. Probably not. If he was in his 50s then, he'd have to be in his 80s now because it's like been 31 years.
We might have had a stable diet and never smoked or drunk in his life. He could look like you.
He could, but probably not. What do you think of the T-1000 effects?
I thought the effects were cool. It kind of confused me as to why they cast that dude.
Why?
Why not just get a guy that looks like Robert Patrick?
Well, because the T-1000 can be anyone. The mistake I think they made, which we're going to come to with Terminator 2, is they should have shown Robert Patrick getting murdered by someone off camera at the start of Terminator 2.
As
and
opposed
you
to
go, he
just-
must have survived,
Yeah.
not knowing that that's the Terminator and that's the form it assumed.
It would have made it a little bit more mysterious.
Because the first thing it touches, it would turn into.
Mm.
So I
But
don't know.
also, there was raised a good point in a little thing that we watched after the episode on the deleted scenes,
Yeah.
and that was that they were saying with the Terminators that they send through time, it has to be living tissue. And Silverman actually questions Kyle, saying, "Silver, you."
Yeah.
Questions him, saying, "Well, how come?" The Terminator's metal. He said, "Yes, but it's surrounded by living organism tissue." Blah blah blah.
Blood, sweat, bad
The
breath.
T-1000,
everything.
that's molten metal.
Yeah.
And it takes on the shape of something that it emulates when it comes back in time.
Yeah.
So how did that travel through time?
Well, we're only
Well.
we're only going on what Carl knows. I mean, since between Terminator 1 and 2, we don't know how much time passed in the future. It might have developed something that sends through inanimate objects, or even more so than that, the T-1000 might register as a biological thing.
But then in this movie, they say about the fact that when Jai Courtney and Amelia go into the time, what is it called again?
Sorry for the low energy on this show, folks, but it's the middle of the night.
I'm saying loads of stuff.
I'm not. Go on.
Well,
Go
fucking
on.
sort it out, dude. You've just eaten 3 chicken thighs and a bowl of chips. Actually, there's no Tic Tacs. That's why you're waiting.
This is true. Yeah, Jai Courtney.
When they're saying that they can't wear any clothes because it all has to be living tissue,
Yeah.
and that was like future time.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I always assumed maybe that the T-1000 would register. Ooh, the mirror. The T-1000 would register as a maybe a biological thing.
But back to your original question, do I like the effects of the T-1000? Yes, I do. I thought they were pretty cool.
Do you think they're better? Well, they are better, I guess.
Yeah, of
than
course they're
25
better.
years ago.
Like you said, the bit where he comes out the mirror, I thought that was pretty cool.
I like that. He did it
And-
very fast though, didn't he?
Well, yeah, it's liquid metal, dude.
No, but in the first one,
It just looks really cool. I always used to think when I watched the Terminator 2 movies, I was like, oh, I wonder what I'd feel like just to touch it.
I think one thing they didn't convey with this T-1000 is the kind of menace, because the one in Terminator 2 a bit like was.
Oh, he looked really evil.
Not just that, I just think the way they shot it and the music and stuff, it made it more scary than
Who
the
did
first
the music
Terminator.
for this movie?
Lorne Balfe. He was a Scottish composer, and he worked under the wings of Hans Zimmer for many years.
Something I will say, when I'm watching a movie, if the music's really good, I'll notice it.
It didn't stand out for me.
It didn't stand out at all. I actually can't remember
I don't remember it.
the music at all.
I remember the
And
theme,
actually,
but that's
that should
that's
say to
Bradford
me that
Elstein.
this film, like I said, it's better than I thought it would be. But that's actually a part of film that I love it.
Well, the
Like
film's
if
a
there's
character in
if there's
itself.
good music, like I love listening to soundtracks. But yeah, I don't actually remember this at all. Thank you, Ethan.
Oh, you're welcome. Have some water.
Considering I'm doing all the talking.
The tense episode. You can hear in the subtext of when they're talking to each other about the film, but actually they just want to kill each other. I don't understand it.
God,
Of course you don't understand it. You're just a robot.
you're just a robot. It's because you murked my table.
So Carl Reese gets to the department store. He's chased by the T-1000 this time. When he puts on his Nike Predators, the two sword arms come through the wall. It melts through the mirror. It kills one of the cops. And then it starts
They
chasing
get
after
arrested,
him.
actually, don't they?
But then Sarah Connor bursts through the wall or the window of the department store in an armoured truck and is like, "Move, soldier, come with me if
And
you
what
want
does
to
she
live."
say?
They flip one of the tropes, one of the conventions. She gives the immortal life.
I remember you doing a power grab in the cinema when that happened.
I gave cinema power grabs
Yeah.
every time a trope appeared from a previous film. I gave one last night, didn't I? For
You
the
did.
Terminator ones. I was like, oh, look, there's a trope. One thing that I did feel disappointed about the movie was we saw it at Dorking Hall Cinema, and there was no cup holders for the drinks.
Actually, you were pretty disgusted with the fact there were no cup
I was
holders.
absolutely
But the screen was
livid.
decent size, and the sound in there is pretty good.
Oh yeah, no, I was shocked that it was such a good presentation, considering it was some dust bowl cinema in the middle of the country.
I've seen a lot of movies at that cinema. It's a favourite.
Is
I
it
have
only
to
one
say.
screen, and the rest are all like
No, there's
performance
2
halls?
screens.
Okay.
There's a screen upstairs as well.
It just that place looks like a leisure centre. It doesn't look like a place of entertainment. When you walk in the front door,
It
and you look at
rakes
the
in a
desk,
shitload of money, dude. Dorking Horse does really well.
the flyers on the wall, you think, oh, this is like some community centre / swimming pool /
We're going to watch
youth club.
Terminator Genesis through interpretive dance on the
Yeah,
stage.
yeah. Come on,
That would be
you've gotta admit,
amazing.
it doesn't. It doesn't.
Genesis on ice.
It wasn't originally created as a cinema, was it?
Yeah, I think it was.
Because it does most certainly doesn't look like one at all. It's a bit run down inside. It's not very pretty. It's got like an 80s.
It's not. No, it's not very pretty at all.
No, it's It's very It's not.
It's
nice.
not overly priced though.
How much are the tickets?
It was 20 quid for both of us.
In 3D.
Yeah.
We saw it in 3D.
Yeah, we didn't actually know that it was.
Do you
gonna
think
be
the
in
3D added anything to it?
There are a couple of bits that I thought the 3D looked quite cool, but again, I'm not massively phased by 3D movies, and if anything, I find the actual glasses you have to wear really annoying.
Well, I think
Because
it
by
was
the end of the movie, I've
post-conversion.
got this like indent in my nose.
I think it was post-conversion. They didn't make it in 3D, and then they convert it after the fact. 'Cause there were like those flashbacks when you were
Beaks?
when you
Flash beaks.
when they were looking back at the boy who becomes Skynet. There was like lots of ghosting around his head, and I thought
Yeah.
because it's a flashback, that's the reason. But it's not. It's because there was shit 3D conversion on it, basically.
Oh, how do you know that?
Because you had Avatar in 2009, which was made
That I would have loved to see in
frame
3D.
for frame in 3D. You couldn't believe what you were looking at when you saw that, because it literally looked real. When you look at it on 2D on Blu-ray and stuff on a TV now, it looks like a cartoon. But if you saw that in IMAX 3D,
Have I missed that boat? Do you reckon they'll ever show that again?
I'll show it again. I'm sure when the next one comes out next year.
Yeah, no, because I would love to see that in 3D because that was just so beautiful.
And they've not really. I don't think they've ever made a 3D film that comes even close to that. Even when they try and make them in 3D, they don't. That was literally like every frame was computer graphically done.
I remember when I saw The Hobbit in 3D and I was like, well, what
No, I
the
saw
fuck was the
Hobbit
point in
3D,
that?
It's like
Yeah.
it was like a bee flies by, and you're like,
Yeah.
we paid extra like $10 for fucking a bee.
A fucking bit.
So yeah, there was nothing in this that stood out in terms of 3D, was there? But I think, well, I
Or
was going to
music.
say the biggest offender. You had Avatar in 2009, and then Sam Worthington, in the same time that Jai Courtney's in now, they're trying pushing him onto us. Clash of the Titans came out, and it was famously post-conversion 3D, trying to cash in on it. And apparently, like all the effects and stuff were terrible. There was ghosting around people, outlines.
See, again, I just wouldn't watch that movie. I like all the original ones, like the Clash of the Titans and Jason and the Argonauts and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's
They
not
were
that good.
amazing.
Wrath
What?
of the
Are
Titans.
you
as well.
serious?
What? It's not that good.
The old ones?
No, the new Clash of the
Oh,
Titans.
God. I was gonna say,
relax.
Like, who even are you? I thought I knew this person. Yeah, I thought there's some of the special effects, some of the 3D effects, like with the Terminators at the beginning of the movie, some of the 3D effects on that were pretty cool.
Yeah, they didn't show enough of them, I don't think. I think they should have just hit us around the face with loads of Terminator in the future action, because that was the best kind of it's looked.
They did more than in this movie than they did in Salvation, dude.
Well, they did lots of it in Terminator 3, but it didn't look good. It looked rubbish, and the Terminators didn't quite look right. They just didn't. I don't know. It wasn't that great, but they got the 80s feel to the Genesis. I'll give them that. With all the red lines. So yeah, I don't know.
What did you think about the fact that Jai Courtney goes absolutely tits when he finds out that there's 2 Terminators in the back of the van, and he like gets out and tries to kill him?
What did I think of it? I didn't think anything of it.
I thought that was really quite pointless because Sarah's driving the van. She's been driving all that time. If the Terminator in the back was going to kill her, he'd have killed her already. Like, it takes him a long time to be convinced that he's actually on her side.
Yeah, but that's a flip of the convention again, isn't it? He's not going to believe what's going on, is it?
Yeah, I just thought that was a bit silly.
One thing I've got a question about, the flashback of when she meets Guardian in the past and he rescues her by blowing up a house with a rocket launcher.
Well, no, she actually describes that liquid metal started coming from out of the ground and it like raised the house.
And then what happened?
Well, it exploded.
No, well, he's got a rocket launch, hasn't he? So he must explode the house.
I just remember her saying that liquid metal started coming up from the ground.
She's under the bridge or the jetty of the lake next to her house, looking up through the cracks.
Yeah, he's
in the
probably
wood.
blowing up the liquid metal thing that came from the house.
Well, isn't that T-1000, the Asian T-1000 in this?
Yeah, I guess.
So they're constantly on the run for 30 years.
Jesus Christ, imagine that.
Right?
Right.
I don't know. I assume...
That's a good point, actually. Have they been running from that T-1000 for all that time? This is why I'm just confused as to why they made it. God, people will probably hate me for saying this. Why they made her so fucking chubby. It's like she's hardly eating at Nando's every day, is she?
That's what she looks like, though.
Is it?
One effect I didn't like is when the T-1000 breaks through when they're giving chase and it's chasing the armoured truck.
And it comes through the windscreen.
Yeah, it doesn't look good.
No. Although I did like the bit where it scoops up the... Because he does the whole, like... the arms where they come out and they've got like the angles on them, and a little bit breaks off and sticks to the door of the van that they're driving in.
It becomes a tracking device.
And then the Terminator
sees the
Guardian
hinge on the door.
Yeah, and then he shoots it off. And then later T-1000 drives up and he opens the door and scoops it up in his hands. I quite like that little bit. I thought that was quite cool. Just putting it out there.
Just putting it out there. You know. Liquid metal.
I wonder what that would feel like.
What?
Liquid metal. I don't know.
Cold or hot?
I'm all about textures. Like I like feeling things.
Well, he chases them to their lair in the factory, and he does one thing the T-1000's never done, where he like breaks part of his arm off and uses it as a spear.
True, that was cool.
And then he injects part of his body into the broken, damaged T-800 1984 Arnold, and
brings him back to life.
Reactivates him, doesn't he?
Although he ends up being blown up again.
Did you like that?
I did.
You think that was a good thing?
I thought it was, yeah. Again, because it just brings more Terminators to the scene. I just basically just want loads and loads of Terminators.
The dispatching of the T-1000. Now, what was that meant to be? Was that acid or something that she shoots?
Yeah, I think it's some kind of... Maybe it's liquid nitrogen.
Because it hits her arm, doesn't it?
It kind of
she
freezes
goes,
him, doesn't it?
And then she shoots upwards. And then he kind of climbs out of it, doesn't he? The T-1000 goes, ugh, and then Arnold grabs him and holds him out.
And his skin melts.
Yeah. But
and yet not the arm, which just melted the T-1000.
I didn't think of that.
I thought of that in the movie. I was like, hang on a second.
Wait a minute.
Wait one.
They're trying to learn for free.
Do you know what? I think she's the first chick I've seen with big lips that I don't rate.
Why? What's wrong with Emilia Clarke? She's just plain?
Just her lips, I don't know. They just annoy me.
She looks more like someone who would work with you in an office.
No, there's hotter birds that work in my office than that. Trust
Whoa.
me. I mean, yeah, they're all young and pretty dumb and full of cum, but
Young, dumb, and
they
full
wouldn't
of
even see
cum.
that as a bad thing.
Yeah, what was that meant to be? Acid then that she kills the T-1000 with? I don't know.
Liquid nitrogen, maybe.
You think?
Well, because that's what kills the T-1000 in the second movie.
Yeah, but it's so funny. He holds him under that kind of acid bath or like liquid nitrogen bath.
Yeah,
but
well, I
his arm
guess
doesn't melt.
the actual compound elements of liquid metal would be different to the solid metal because it's all about the particles inside.
I guess.
You're just not science.
It's an interesting story. It doesn't make any sense at all, see?
None of these movies make sense.
How does
No one knows what it means. It's provocative.
How does the skin grow back in 30 years?
That's a really good point too.
That's not a plot hole. That's a plot abyss. That's
Abyss.
when I started going, oh, fuck this movie. It's like, please explain how he got skin back on his arm after 30 years. He'd have to wear a glove.
Yeah, true.
You could argue the skin regenerates, but if it regenerates, he wouldn't age.
Oh, that reminds me of something later on that I need to discuss in this movie, but not right now because it's jumping. It's jumping.
Go on, jump away.
Well, no, it's just like when he's fighting, when Guardian's fighting John Connor, the Terminator, John Connor, and he has that metal thing on his hand. What was all that about? He attaches that like those metal straps to his fists, so that
Well,
when
all
he
the
actually
things you've picked up on that I've missed in this film, you didn't get that.
no.
It was a magnet. He took it out of the speakers to create.
I must
a
have been
magnet.
stuffing popcorn
So
in my
he
mouth
could
when.
grab hold of John Connor or punch him because the magnets
It's the
disrupted
magnet
the
that.
nanobots.
Oh, okay. I must have literally had my face like in the popcorn box when that bit happened. Because all of a sudden I just saw him with these metal things on his.
Just to fight, so you could power punch.
You get the obvious bits.
Time travel.
Oh God, you know I hate this.
This was the biggest contention over the entire film, and other reviewers have said this in magazines and stuff. They've already got a time machine built in 1984 that Guardian has built for Arnold Schwarzenegger. Why do they go to 2017?
They go to 2017.
Why not just live their lives?
Lives. Well, because they're now on this high and mighty, and they've got to save humanity. In all honesty, mate, humanity can fuck itself.
No, but why would they go to 1997? Was it or 2017?
They were going to go to 97, but Jai said that they should go to 2017 to stop Skynet ever being born.
So why not
which
just
was
do it
GenisYs?
in 1997?
I don't know. He just had to put in his 2 cents, didn't he?
It's just, this is where it lost me. I was just like, why are they time travelling forward? Is it because it's cheaper to have the production without trying to make the world look like 1984?
Maybe. These are all the questions that you should ask James Cameron when you meet him.
Hugh Cameron. Yeah, I don't know. And then there was the locker scene where you saw a bit of bush.
You didn't see any bush, but you saw some shadow
Bountiful
boob.
bosoms.
Yeah,
Shadow
which is
boob.
a lie.
Which is a lie. 'Cause
I
they're
was
not like that.
gutted when I came out of the movie. What did I say to you? I was like, she was shit, but my God, she's got banging tits. You went, Ellie, you're gonna be gutted. And then we got back, and then you showed me pictures of her in Game of Thrones. I was like, nah, that is a shame.
The answer is no.
Yeah, it's the only redeeming factor about her.
So they weren't a convincing couple for you then?
No, not at all.
Did you like the fact?
Although they're both
constantly
kind of
trying to get them to
stodgy,
fuck?
aren't they? They could probably just feed each other. Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger would be like, "Did you mate yet?" And the fact that Kyle doesn't know and she won't tell him yet, and she's like, "If I love you and we fall in love, you're gonna die."
What if she'd have fooled around with the Terminator as she was growing up in her adolescence?
What, diddling Pops?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why she calls him Pops.
Because he pops
Terminator just got sexy, guys.
pops over my face, neck, and chest.
Oh, my imaginary massive bosoms. But then that comes back down to, well, would the Terminator jizz? Would Terminators have?
I don't know. I don't think so.
It'd be liquid.
It's all be for show, wouldn't it? But then again, he said they were perfect, blood, sweat, bad breath, everything. So who knows? So they travel forward to 2017 from 1984. So the Terminator has to wait 32 years. Takes the long road, as they say. And they appear in 2017 in the middle of a freeway. The Terminator arrives. They get arrested. I don't know. I'm just bewildered by this film.
I'm just bewildered. I'm just thinking that maybe they should have just got Miley Cyrus to play Sarah Connor.
Oh, well, I don't know.
She looks like a...
The rocket launch of the thing, the future, past... I don't know. I just got so confused by it. The flashbacks with old Terminator, he's got gargoyles on, he's blown up a house. How has the T-1000 not been killed by that? Sorry, we're going back again. There's a flashback in the movie, basically, where she meets Guardian. He blows up her house with a rocket launcher and walks off with her. And she seems happy enough to do that.
Well, yeah, I guess in the first movie, maybe she doesn't get picked up by a Terminator. She gets picked up by Carl Reese, and she seems pretty willing to go along with that.
A character that
She's just an impressionable young girl.
When they do get to 2017, there's a character in it that I thought was going to be more developed or have a reason to be in the story more, and that was J.K. Simmons, who plays this police detective.
Oh, yeah. Who kind of worked out that there's some kind of time travel going on. He's the only one that seems to really know what's going on.
Well, in this story, he said he was one of the young detectives at the police station the night he got shot up and survived, and now he's like a retired or whatever detective or retired cop who believes this story.
Yeah, he gets a photo.
Because you thought he was Dr. Silverman, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I got really excited.
I did think that too.
Because he actually he gets hold of a photograph of when they get transported onto that highway, and he's just like, it wasn't this, it was actually they came from inside the electric field, and he's just like, this isn't, I can't remember exactly what he says, but he knows that there's something going on.
Yeah, I don't know, because he was in the story, but I'm not necessarily sure what in service that was of, because he was taken
He
out
helps
of the
them
story.
along. He does kind of help them along the way, doesn't he?
All I could see was he took off Sarah's handcuffs. He goes, I know you're involved in this somehow, but
Well,
You've gotta tell me
he's also
something.
trying to convince the people that have arrested him that these guys aren't bad, that they're not like causing havoc.
But that doesn't stop them from being arrested. Therefore, what was the point of him in the story? She just says, "We're going to stop the end of the world." And he goes, "I can work with that." And he just unhooks her handcuffs, essentially.
True. Do you not think that Jai Courtney the whole way through this movie almost looked like his face was just CGI?
That's the acting. Yeah, I don't know.
What does CGI stand for?
Computer-generated imagery.
Okay, cool.
Do you want some history of CGI?
No. Yeah, no, go for it.
Well, the first kind of CGI really, I think, was Tron, which was developed by
The
Steven
original
Lisberger,
Tron?
yeah.
Oh,
and
wow.
John, God, what's his name? John Lasseter, who were part of Industrial Light and Magic, and then they split off and formed their own company called Pixar.
Oh.
But the first kind of proper CGI, I think, is the stained glass window night from Young Sherlock Holmes. People get infected by this like Illuminati-esque secret society, and they try and murder people, and they stab them with those like poison darts, and they hallucinate. And one of the hallucinations is.
Oh my god!
Have you seen it or not?
Yeah, I saw that movie years. I love Sherlock Holmes.
It's a priest in a church,
Yeah.
and the stained glass window breaks and leaps out. And it's a night, and it walks past the camera in like a pan 360 pan, which you couldn't do with traditional
Who made
animation.
that movie?
Oh God, Barry Levinson, 1985. Nicholas Rowe was Sherlock Holmes.
Shit the bed. I'm gonna have to watch that again.
And Brian Cox's son, Brian Cox, who was William Stryker in X-Men 2, his son played Watson, whose real name escapes me. Someone
Yeah, because when they're young and they're at school.
Wasn't that great?
Oh, I remember really enjoying it, but I love Sherlock Holmes.
It's got good bits in it, and the idea's
I
good. I just
hated
think
the
it was
new
poorly
Sherlock Holmes
executed.
movie with Robert
I like that.
Brownie fucking Jr.
How dare you?
I just don't like him.
Leave RDJ alone. He's trying his best.
That first scene when Irene Adler comes in and she's like getting the better of Sherlock Holmes. The whole point of Sherlock Holmes is he's not fussed by the female race at all. The original story with Irene Adler was there was a German king, and basically he had an affair with this woman, and there was a photo taken, but she wasn't of royal blood, so he couldn't really be with her. So it was all like secret. But she was actually
Sherlock Holmes couldn't be with her.
no, the king of Germany.
Oh. Keep going.
This is Terminator. It's not Sherlock
No,
Holmes. I
go.
guess I should
You're
probably-
doing what I do. You go off on a tangent of interesting film knowledge.
It's not a film. It's actual.
You've actually got
it's,
my attention.
It's
for
Conan
once,
Doyle. It's not a film.
as I pull one of my balls out of my bum
Again.
again. It's a hot day.
Stop doing that, dude.
It's big bag day.
Oh.
Sitting on one.
Basically, Irene Adler, she was the only woman that ever actually got to Sherlock Holmes because she was just as logical, just as precise. She was level-headed. She was basically like a man in a woman's body. The ideal woman, basically, in my eyes.
Right.
And she was the only woman that ever kind of got to him, but he never, he doesn't do the romance stuff. Like, it was all very kind of like matter-of-fact business, and he ends up actually respecting her, and they end up actually like forming some kind of weird, like mutual like understanding with each other,
But not sexual.
but not sexual. He
Just-
he respects her.
But he doesn't have sex with anyone.
No,
Ever?
never.
What's wrong with him?
Because he's just so
it
focused,
all.
dude. Like he needs to stimulate his mind, not his penis. And when he doesn't have a case to work on, he injects liquid cocaine.
What?
Mm.
Liquid cocaine?
Liquid cocaine.
Why? Wouldn't he be? Wouldn't he inject laudanum?
No,
Isn't
it was
it?
cocaine.
Why?
I don't know. Ask Conan, not the barbarian.
I was going to say the barbarian.
So when they did the new movie and Irene Adler comes in and she's all sassy and she's like getting the better of
She's
Sherlock
the
Holmes,
gypsy woman, right?
I was just like, are you fucking joking? I literally watched 10 minutes of that movie. I was like, this isn't Sherlock Holmes at all. Like, have they ever read any of the books? Have they ever seen any of the Jeremy Bretts? Have they ever seen any of the
Basil Rathbone.
Basil Rathbone
The best
ones? No, he was awesome. I really liked it. I love black and white movies as well. His Hand of the Baskervilles was really good, really quite scary. But for me, I think Jeremy Brett actually embodies the actual kind of Conan Doyle's depiction of Sherlock Holmes perfectly. He did it so well. Good old Granada, man. I remember that. Like, yeah.
I'm saying Poirot was good next one. I guess not.
Any other detective shit, don't like it. Poirot, what a gimp. Anyway, back to Terminator.
Back to Terminator. One of the things I took away from Terminator was black people are evil geniuses and we shouldn't trust them.
How politically incorrect of you to say so.
It's not my words, Lynn. The words of Terminator GenisYs.
Really?
Well, yeah, because basically Is it
Yeah, but
not-
that's just because you're seeing the colour of his skin.
It's got the two
That's
Dysons.
ignorant.
No, it was odd to me because they brought Dyson back, the son back, and then later on in the story they introduced Miles Dyson.
They did, yeah.
And I know it's an alternate timeline, but it would have been nice to see Joe Morton come back as Dyson again, like the old
How
Dyson.
old would he be?
He'd be the age he would be now.
Which
Because-
is what?
Well, Terminator 2 in the world of Terminator 2 is set in 1994 or 95 because John's born in 85.
Yeah, true.
So timeline's pretty much the same. So Joe Morton now would be the same age that Joe Morton would be in the Terminator universe.
Even the voice.
Just to get it late is now basically.
Okay. Yeah, no, that probably would have been a great inclusion.
It wouldn't because this is not a timeline, but I just kind of missed him being in it really. But yeah, it's kind of odd. It was just like it was like, meh, we're gonna make GenisYs no matter what you say. Meh. It's like, oh,
just like that.
why
That's
is it talking with a lamb's
actually
voice?
that's actually in the movie, guys.
Please don't end the world.
So, Kyle and Sarah get arrested. They get taken to hospital because they were thrown onto a highway naked.
And then Jason Clarke with his wonky hairline shows up.
Shows up and he's like, "Mom, it's me, your son." And she's suspicious straight away. Why do you think she's suspicious?
Well,
She knows nothing about what's going to happen.
no. Well, yeah, or shouldn't be wise to any Terminators because she hasn't really met any yet, I would have thought, in this timeline apart from the T-1000, but she would be too young to remember that.
Exactly.
She only knows that this is John Connor because of what Kyle recognised him, because she wouldn't know what the adult John Connor looks like.
No, but
'cause
when
she's
he
never
first
met him.
walks in, she has this look like, "Do I know you? I feel like I should know you."
Do you think that would happen in real life? If you had some kind of familial connection?
No. But don't ask me, I'm the least maternal person ever.
Good to know. Her womb's full of sawdust.
It's not polluted.
Her womb is so polluted, I got a junk for a wife. I can't even have a little baby with her, man. Ooh, fly pelican. Yeah, so John Connor shows up and goes, "Mom, I'm back. I've travelled through..." What did he say? Did he say he travelled through time as well to help?
No, he doesn't say that.
Well, what was his excuse for being there? Because he needs one.
His excuse for being there, when they actually go, they escape from the hospital. They attack two of the guards or the policemen who are stood outside.
Because he's masquerading
just
as
like,
one of the cops, isn't
yeah.
he? He said, "I'm with them."
Yeah,
They don't know
and he's
I'm
like, "Oh,
me."
can I get your help in here a second?" And then they attack him and they take the guns and they leave the hospital. And then when they're all in the car park, that's when he then says, "You know, we are now all a family and as a family together." Because that's when Kyle first finds out that that's his dad, that he is John Connor's dad. And he says, "This is why I'm here, because as a family, we're going to fight this."
Right.
I think that's his. I think that is his excuse for turning up.
Huh.
And at the same time, we have the Guardian Arnie turning up to the hospital with a giant teddy bear.
Guardian.
Guardian, with a huge teddy bear, and thank God he did.
Now, why is Guardian showing up with a huge teddy bear? Because he missed his timing, didn't he, to collect them? He was on the wrong part of the freeway when
He
they
got
arrested by
stuck
the
in
cops.
traffic.
He got stuck in traffic. But having said that, if you know exactly where they'd appear, or I don't know, would he?
Well, he's getting older. He's
Yeah,
tracking.
But hang on, you appear in random places, right? So you wouldn't know anywhere where they'd appear, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Plot hole.
Yeah, true.
You wouldn't even be like within 20 feet of them because you wouldn't know exactly where they'd pop out.
No, he wouldn't have a clue.
Unless that was addressed in the film. I don't think they picked it up. But if I can't even get young Skynet boy right, you can't trust my opinion, can you?
Skynet boy. Yeah. So it's in the car park scene that we first find out that John Connor's a Terminator.
Not as a liquid metal Terminator or a skeletal metal endoskeleton.
He's kind of like what Marcus was in Salvation.
He's made
Kind
of
of like-
Tic Tacs. He's not, no, because Marcus is like a robot still.
But he's kind of human too.
He's like dust. He's nanotechnology, isn't he? He's like every little particle is like an individual little grain of sand. He's like a Terminator. Every cell is a machine, but not in a liquid form.
So is John Connor completely Terminator,
I don't know, because
or is there like human tissue involved?
think
Well, obviously there's human
is
tissue.
it the scene here where he's going, "I know there's a human part of you," and he's like tearing up? So like, is that what they were trying to do in it? John Connor was fighting the machine part of himself.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Because he said, I'm not man or machine, I'm more. I'm like both.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a good point.
So he's still in there somewhere, right?
He's in there somewhere, deep within the...
But they couldn't get him out. I don't know.
Just like Tom Cruise and his sexuality. That's why he's always running in movies. He's running away from his sexuality.
Amazing. The Scientologist is going to come after us now.
Whatever, you're the one that broke into their
Headquarters
grounds.
in East Grinstead
Yeah.
and got questioned and chased by men in black sunglasses.
Question for questionable.
Exactly.
Whoa.
If you're listening, listeners, do write in if you can feel like there's a visible downward spiral of lack of energy from both of us.
I think we did. Dude, you always do this, and then when you listen back, you go, actually, that was pretty good.
Because I think, you know what, in a perfect world, when we left the theatre from seeing Terminator, we'd have got straight on a train. We had to wait an hour, which is ridiculous.
And then it rained.
Then we got back here and it was so late we couldn't do the show because it was just too tiring. But I think we should have done it then where it was fresh in our minds. And we could have discussed, over the film, which is what's happening now with the illegally downloaded pirate we're now watching. Yeah, what Paramount, we paid to see it at the movies and it's a bad copy. So we're using it as a guide to sell your shitty movie.
Exactly. This is press.
Your little eyes lit up there. You're like, did you see it? Yes, I said it. We saw it at the cinema. In 3D, we paid extra.
We?
Ooh.
Sorry, he got the popcorn.
And the Sunday roast, which we gave away.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, Matt Smith as Skynet, basically.
Yeah, what was he in? Was he in Doctor Who or something? Or I don't know. Who is this dude?
Yeah, Matt Smith played one of the Doctors. I think it was one Doctor back.
I never really
The
rated
youngest
Doctor
actor
Who.
to play Doctor Who at the time. He was 27 years old, but he's kind of an odd-looking fellow, isn't he? He looks like he's got some sort of syndrome. Doctor Syndrome. Genis Syndrome.
Skydrome.
That's what the Y in Genesis that is from. That's why it's syndrome. It's for No, I don't know what I'm talking about.
You've lost it,
Shut
dude.
up, Ethan.
You're spiraling. Yeah.
This John Connor, though, I think they stole a little bit of the idea from The Day the Earth Stood Still, the remake. Because Gort, have you seen The Day the Earth Stood Still, the 1958 version?
The old one. I haven't seen the new one.
Yeah, the new one, Gort is made of nanotechnology, so it's like a little robot made of tiny insects.
Oh, wow.
And he just breaks them into these clouds of locusty things. He just fucks up the entire planet. It's quite a dark story.
Let's hope that never happens. Jesus Christ.
But yeah, I don't know.
He was quite. I don't know. He was quite cool though, because he he gets rid of the scars on his face, doesn't he? And he shows that he's all Terminator in it. And
He
she's
reminded me a little
"That's
bit-
not my son. That's not John."
He reminded me a little bit of the Scarecrow from Wizard of Oz. He just needed his nose painting brown
And a little straw hat.
and some stuffing coming out of his collar. Here's a spoiler for you, folks. There's a scene in Terminator Genisys where what kind of Terminator do they call the John Connor Terminator? Dusty?
Dust. Let's just call him Dusty.
But yeah, Robert Patrick is in the waiting room of, I guess, the hospital when the two Terminators come crashing through the wall.
Wow. I wonder why they had that inclusion.
I don't know, because one, it's an alternate timeline.
Do you reckon
Two,
he asked to be in the movie as just a little extra or something?
I don't know why he wasn't. If you've got an old Arnold as the T800, why not have an old Robert Patrick as the T1000?
Dude, I said that earlier.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Christ, my brain's not working.
Oh my gosh.
I've been looking forward to this episode for weeks, promising it to people, and it's almost like going on a date with a really hot girl and you build stuff in your mind, but you got so overboard thinking about it, you couldn't perform.
There's a term that me and my friend Sissy use, and it's called "Don't believe the hype."
Yeah. Well, it's usually, yeah, I suppose, but it doesn't really work for a guy.
It's like that people always say, if you realise your dreams, you're going to be guided.
Yeah. You should never realise your dreams. You should always be on the journey, I think.
Exactly.
If you get everything you want, you don't.
Quit your fucking bitching.
You really develop character for adversity.
Plus, you get
Having
used to it
said
and
that,
you
I've
get
had enough of
bored.
that in my life. I want some fucking fun, free shit.
Free shit.
The MRI machine. Do you think this was a good way of dispatching the Terminator?
It was a way of dispatching the Terminator.
Now, I've heard when John Connor's walking away from the MRI machine, spoilers, not spoilers, this is movie trivia, or an Easter egg, if you will. As he's walking away from the MRI machine and being sucked into it, and there's those like various like shadows or stages of John Connor like ghosting off him. Apparently, Edward Furlong is in there somewhere. But if it's an alternate timeline, he wouldn't look like Edward Furlong.
Why would what? Why would they do that?
I can't remember. It was on. God, where did it say? It was Mr. Sunday Movies. If you go on Mr. Sunday Movies videos, guys, and look for the Terminator 2 Easter eggs, I'll post it as well for you. He says something about John Connor being either one of the ghosts coming off the back of the nanotechnology Terminator, John Connor, as he's backing onto the MRI machine or trying to walk away from it. And they either project Edward Furlong's face onto his face, or he's one of the kind of ghosts that's
wow, I
coming
might
off the
have
back
to check
of it.
that out. That'd be interesting to know.
By the same token, in Man of Steel, when Henry Cavill's like pushing up into the energy beam of the world engine, they put one frame of Christopher Reeve's face on his face.
Aww.
He was the good Superman.
He was.
He was
My
also even
favourite.
better as the bad Superman. The 5 o'clock shadow Superman who was flicking peanuts at the mirror. Have you seen Superman 3?
No.
Ellie, have you not seen Superman 3?
No, I've seen 1 and 2.
Oh my god. Christopher Reeve as an actor must have been going, I cannot wait to fucking do this. Basically, he's given this fake kryptonite. Well, by Richard Pryor. They try and like make kryptonite, but they can't get it from space, so they make some chemically. But it doesn't kill him. It kind of like messes up his mind a little bit. And then halfway through the film, he splits into two. And there's like the dark Superman. He's got like a burgundy cape and 5 o'clock shadow and like eyeliner.
Little boots and cape.
And he's just slinging dick and drinking and being a bad man.
I swear I've seen you in that outfit in some photo somewhere.
Yeah,
probably.
But then he splits.
Kind of like what they did with MDMA.
He splits and good Superman fights bad Superman in this like wrecking yard. It makes the whole movie, and it's why everyone unfairly maligns Superman 3. It is lots of comedy. Richard Pryor is in it quite a lot, but it's still awesome when fucking Superman fights himself.
Well, you know what to download next, Ethan.
And his acting is so good in it. He's really, really awesome job.
I was always a big fan.
Yeah.
Go stem cell research. Yay. Suck that fetus. That was another episode of South Park, actually.
What?
A really good one. Stem cell research and Christopher Reeves. It's really funny, dude. You'd absolutely love it. He goes to this hospital and he gets all these like babies and he just like breaks their necks and then sucks all the juice out of them and then just starts able to be like walk and it's so fucking hilarious. Dude, you should really just dedicate some time to South Park. You'd
Here's
absolutely
the thing. My
love
politically
it.
incorrect humour gets me into trouble in Facebook all the time.
Yeah.
So how is Facebook? I mean, not Facebook. Wait, well, that is a real question. Why is it allowed to exist? Why does South Park get made?
Honestly, because they're Jews. The Jews can take the piss out of anything.
Matt Parker and Trey Parker and Matt Stone are Jews.
Well, Trey Parker is. No, Matt Stone is. I don't know if Trey Parker is.
I'm not complaining about it. I think you need more of that kind of humour. I think.
Plus, it's a cartoon.
Nevertheless, but the themes are obviously very dark.
Oh my god, yeah, they're just
Christopher Reeve sucking the innards out of babies to make himself walk
Michael
again.
Jackson like fucking little kids and fucking oh god, it's all very dark. But it's amazing. It's so funny. But yeah, generally, it's like Sacha Baron Cohen being able to like take the piss out of like black culture and Jews and stuff. It's because he himself is a Jew. They run the media, dude. They run the world.
That's what Mel Gibson says. Don't look at me like that.
I've got a newfound
She's
respect for Mel
flashing her eyes at
Gibson
me
after
going, "Get
watching
out there."
Lethal Weapon. Those movies were amazing.
Well, it's the same with Tom Cruise. You hated him until you watch a few Tom Cruise films, and then you're like,
I still hate Tom Cruise.
he's a weird human
I have
being,
a fundamental.
but there's
like,
a reason.
No,
He's been at the top of his game for 30 years. He's an
no,
amazing movie star.
I can't.
What was the best thing about Into the Vampire, Ellie? And how did the film suffer when one particular actor was off screen halfway through the film?
Yes.
And who was that actor?
Fucking Tom Schmooze.
And Rock of Ages, which isn't that great a
I've
film.
seen it, but you've sent me lots of screenshots.
But the
just
highlights
trying
in
to...
that film are populated by one name alone, and the film is only good and
But
on
he's
fire.
just such a little fucking gimp. I just hate him. I hate him so much.
He is a gimp, but you can't deny he makes awesome films, and
Well, no, he doesn't make awesome films. He
does.
stars. He's good at acting.
he's not the acting, but he's the producer. He makes his own films now. He's done that since I think 1996 when he formed Cruise Wagner Productions with his old agent Paula Wagner. But he gives 110%. What actor can you say in the history of film at 53 hangs onto the side of an aeroplane that's taking off. What actor jumps down off that giant Wiz Khalifa building, whatever it is? Wiz Khalifa's a rapper.
Wiz Khalifa? What the fuck?
He's a rapper, not a
Oh
building.
god, it is late.
I don't know. He runs down that building like thousands of feet up. Or the motorcycle stuff he does.
I don't know, he's got special shoes. He is pretty fucking short.
Well, apparently, in Into Vampire, there
He
was a
wears
lot of
platform
apparent
shoes?
rivalry on set because Brad Pitt, that Brad Pitt then, he was like very beautiful and androgynous looking.
He
There was
had
a
that
lot
long
of
blonde
concern
hair.
from Cruise's camp that he was going to like take all the shine off Cruise, which he didn't because Brad Pitt doesn't really have the magic that Tom Cruise has. Sorry. It's true. But apparently he had lifts in his shoes and they had like an extra like two
Dude,
by
I've
four
heard that
planks
he
to
has that in a
walk.
lot of his movies.
I'm sure they do. I'm
But
sure
that,
lots of
that you
actors
never
do.
see his feet in films because he's
I
wearing
don't
platform
think, I don't
fucking
think
shoes.
that's why I'd ever become famous because I'm over 6 feet tall. You have to be under 6 feet or under 5'10".
What? That's ridiculous.
It's the unwritten rule of showbiz. Mel Gibson's like 5'8".
The more I learn about showbiz, the more I say fuck showbiz.
Prince is shorter than Kylie Minogue. Prince is 5'1".
He's shorter than me. I'm 5'2". Oh, I would so do Prince.
I don't think you would.
Oh, I so would.
Imagine Prince like off the stage and he's not got all the lights around him, and he's like, he's not has his hair touzled and stuff, and he's not in that outfit with the high heels and like he's almost his last Paul Yorick outfits that he wears. Just imagine just regular little Prince just bombing around your house. You're like, it's not the same.
Yeah, but it's not so much what he looks like, though, is it? It's like the person that he is.
Well, apparently the person he is a complete nutbar Jehovah's Witness. We know this because he asked Kevin Smith, the filmmaker and podcaster, to make a film with him. And for weeks and weeks this went on, that he was had to sit in like talks with Jehovah's Witnesses, and he was trying to make this documentary with Prince, and it all went horribly wrong. If you watch An Audience with Kevin Smith, the first one, there's a whole story in there about it. It's really funny.
Well, I've only ever heard good things about Prince, and that
Yeah,
he is a bit weird, and he's a bit wonderful, and he's very private. But I don't know, that just
Apparently,
makes
when he's not
I
on
find it very
stage, he
intriguing.
gets his all the clothes he wears in regular life are like for boys' clothes. Because he's that
Oh
little
my god, that's bullshit.
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 So
I
go back
hate
to
your
the film,
music.
Ellie, as we get to the last leg of Terminator Genisys.
Mm-hmm.
There's a scene, basically. Ooh, 23% my battery's about to die. There's a scene as they're looking at the time displacement weapon being built in modern times.
Yeah.
With Dyson's son. John Connor's there. Now, is he playing a different character? He's been the cop for Sarah Connor. He appears now that he's worked with Dyson for many years. And
Yeah, he clearly can't be posing as John Connor.
is that Skynet from the future coming back to ensure its survival and design itself in the past with Dyson?
I would have thought so, yeah.
Okay.
Well done, you got that bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try to be honest.
Showed me artist. It's not good enough. Never has been.
What was the rest of the plan for the film then? Was he going to become GenisYs, hook into everything, and then launch the missiles immediately?
Or maybe just make sure that Genesis Well, no, because Genesis is its own thing, isn't it? It's that weird, like, little boy.
And also, for years, Guardian has been building this like weapons cache in the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
They take one pistol out of it before the John Connor shows up and blows up the entire place. It just
Yeah,
seems really
no.
pointless.
Yeah, but they had to fill the Guardian's time with something, didn't they? What's he been doing all this time?
Did you miss Arnold Schwarzenegger in leather and shades in this? He was
No.
he was in a Belstaff jacket, green Belstaff and jeans. He looked like he should be like driving around Louisiana going, "Hey man, you got gator steaks here?" Features.
No. I didn't actually miss it.
Really?
I could lie and say I did, but I didn't. I did find it weird though that he'd kept all those pictures and drawings of Sarah. Because again, if he's like
A machine, he wouldn't be sentimental.
yeah,
Well, you could have that if it was the Terminator 2 Terminator, I think.
whereas this one he is a bit more sentimental.
No.
He's turned into a bit of soft cock.
No, he hasn't though, because in this he's more machine-like, considering he's been around for 30
But yet
years.
he's got pictures and drawings that Sarah.
Yeah, but that's just shown on a wall. It's not done in acting.
No, but he's kept it, and he's put it up on a wall.
Maybe he kept it for her. But in terms of his character, I'm saying, like the Terminator 2 Terminator was learning and then started to understand what human emotion was.
And that really dodgy smile that they make him do, and the sound, I didn't like that.
Maybe when
at
he's
all.
about to be lowered into the metal, you feel he's kind of turned a corner and he's on his first
And
step to
gives him the
being
thumbs up.
first step to being human, almost like Pinocchio.
I need a vacation.
Exactly.
Yeah, true. God, Terminator 2 is such an awesome movie, man.
Yeah.
It's put a big smile on my face.
Yeah, it might be good to do.
It's fun.
No,
to
well, as I
do.
said before, as we wrapped up season 1, the first Terminator, it's going to be all fun and games for Terminator 2 probably for 80 episodes. But
We've then got to go through.
you've got Terminator 3, which maybe you can get away with because I've only seen it once.
You may hear a live suicide on the air.
And it's no, you know why I think that might be good? It's because
It'll
it
be
is
so bad, and
bad.
I'll be so passionate
It'll be
about
like
saying
seeing
how
The
shit
Room
it
with
is.
Tommy Wiseau or seeing a
I
film.
still,
with Picture
I
in
still
cinema.
haven't seen that movie.
You got to see it.
I have.
But you need to see it at the
do have
cinema.
to see it. Ed's seen that.
You need a bag of plastic spoons. Yeah,
Okay.
you'll know when you get there.
Oh.
You have to take
You and your little
shopping
cliffhangers.
shopping bags of plastic spoons if you see The Room.
You little tease.
Yeah, no, I think 3 might be okay because I think it's so bad it might be actually funny, and I've not seen it enough times to hate it.
I've only seen, dude. I've seen Terminator 3 once.
Well, I've seen
At the
Terminator
cinema.
Salvation once at the cinema, and I thought it's actually alright. I'm giving it a chance. Then watching it yesterday was like, there's no Terminator in this. He's still wandering around the fucking desert for an
You
hour.
missold it to me, dude.
I
you
missold
did.
it to me.
Fuck you.
fuck you, fuck me. Yeah, no, it's awful.
Yeah.
I just don't know how we're going to get through that 4-hour stint of just them in
Because
the,
we're dedicated
in
to the
desert,
cause,
and
dude.
her just like playing the pussy game with Marcus Wright.
Oh
looking
yeah,
at her
that was
boobs,
ridiculous. And like splooshing herself with like
and then
rainwater.
going, huh? And then going,
Huh?
no, what are you doing?
What do you? Yeah,
And then
exactly.
going, do you like me? You were
Playing that
God,
pussy game.
that's what all girls do.
I don't play that game.
Right, Ellie.
Then again,
The
I am a
scene
lesbian.
you obviously slept through is when Terminator builds himself
I didn't. I was eating popcorn.
his magnetic punching power glove.
Yeah, I clearly missed that bit.
So he takes the magnets out of the speakers on top of the mountain outpost thing.
Well, I remember seeing some of that, but I didn't realise they were magnets.
Well, I think Kyle, Joey Courtney's giving like exposition, isn't he, about magnets and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you saying?
But I think he mentions that like magnets can fuck up the new John Connor.
Yeah, which they
Amazing.
discovered in the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I missed that bit. I remember thinking, why are these weird things on his hands able to fuck up this amazing
Maybe he
like
just wanted to make some bracelets. It was arts and crafts time. He's like, I'm going to make myself a bracelet so I feel rock and roll.
he hasn't got the leather, but he's got the bracelets.
Fussy, 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 pop fussy. Tender moment.
How do you think Carl and Sarah work as a team? Now that she's like a full-on soldier.
Here's one thing this Terminator had, I guess, because it's like human as well, but he had like humor and emotion. He
Yeah.
cries and he laughs and he like.
Well, yeah, he
mocks
was
them and
quite
stuff.
evil. Yeah, no, I thought he was actually quite good. I quite liked him.
Well, he's pudgy, nondescript face.
He had a good part. Arnold Schwarzenegger had a good part, and the others were shit. With some good action thrown in.
If you were going to remake this film
Oh
or
my god.
re-edit it, what would you add and what would you take out?
Oh my god, what a question. A lot probably. I'd change a lot of the actors and actresses.
Okay, who's your Sarah Connor? If we're doing
Shit.
dream casting.
Shit.
Sergeant Candy, William Candy.
Actually, there's a chick that plays like a that's okay. In one of the Star
Steps on me Uggs.
in one of the Star Treks, it wasn't Voyager, it was oh shit. There's a like an alien, she's called T'Pau. And she's like, do you know who?
T'Pau was named after the 80s band T'Pau. They took their name from T'Pau in Star Trek.
Okay, so find out who she is. I actually think she would have made a really good Sarah Connor. She's actually really fit as well. But she's kind of like, she's quite small, but she's quite toned. She's got quite a good physique. That's kind of how I would imagine. No, it is different, dude. Type in Star Trek, you noob.
Which T'Pau is it though?
This one.
That one. Oh, that's the
Yeah.
power from the new Star Trek. Then.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I reckon she'd have made quite a good Sarah Connor.
Do you know who would have made a great Sarah Connor? And I'm never one to advocate
The use of
changing the
drugs?
race of an actor. No, just like Black Spider-Man or Black James Bond.
Halle Berry.
No, Angela Bassett would make an amazing Sarah Connor.
Who's that? Show me her.
Angela-
You know what I'm like, dude. I recognise
Angela
faces.
Bassett played Tina Turner. And then she was going to be Storm in the X-Men films, which would have been absolutely perfect. And then they swapped her out for Halle Berry.
Oh, her.
But she always plays like very stoic, strong women.
Yeah,
She's
no,
in Strange
she-
Days with Ralph Fiennes as
Yeah,
well.
no,
She's
I
a
reckon
complete
she-
badass in that.
Yeah, but then again, that would have totally just blown the whole Terminator thing out the water.
It's
'cause
not on
then-
that timeline, so you could have a black Sarah Connor.
Yeah, but then John Connor would have had to have been black.
Fine.
Oh wow.
Look, the Terminator films are so like patchy. Well, they're not patchy. The first two are good. The same way the Highlander. The first Highlander's good. And
Maybe Rossana, what's her face?
Rosanna, who get out.
What's her name? The chick that's in all the Sin City movies.
Rosario Dawson.
Oh,
Oh,
she's so hot.
have you seen that thing with James
Yes.
McAvoy? She comes walking out the room naked.
Yeah.
And you can see everything.
You said I've seen it. I've seen it all.
Watch this. Arnie's acting now. He goes, whoa.
He gets pulled through a bus through the floor.
Yeah, the bus scene on the Golden Gate Bridge, and he gets hit by a car.
I hate it when he smashes into the windscreen. What does he say? Like, nice to see you. Get out.
Yeah, get out.
Oh, it's so terrible, that bit. And again, he's just gone face,
Dragged his face along the highway, and he's fine.
and he's like, landed
Do you
face
think,
on onto a
you know, when the face
windscreen
goes
and
through
he's
the
all right.
windscreen, and he says, get out, like in all the trailers.
Yeah.
That face there.
Hmm.
Do you think that's the face he makes when he's on the toilet?
Oh, that's his O face. Do you know what an O face is?
Yeah.
What?
That's the face you should have made when he was fucking the nanny.
Yeah.
Hold it in, Arnie.
Oh.
Pull out.
Do you reckon he's got any like staying
Contact.
power? Do you reckon he could hold off? When you get older, is it more difficult to like
No, I think
control
it-
when you come?
No, I don't think so. I think it's worse. You have to focus more to do it.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh wow. Fuck being a dude.
Well, God, we shouldn't read this on a family-friendly podcast, but...
Well, your mum's not listening anymore, so it's fine.
Yeah, thanks to you.
I know.
Oh, she had another go at me today about you, by the way.
Why?
Because, you know, she was talking about that big family argument they all had when I was there last week. Nothing to do with me, folks, but they love to argue.
Yeah.
Weird. And then she's like, yeah, and your brother's girlfriend at the time, I didn't like her, I never spoke to her ever again. And that one you do that show with, who she thinks she is. Like, I was like, you really got the wrong end of the stick here, dude. I was like, she mocked your voice. Not even mocked it, she just, like, mimicked your voice.
Mm.
And I was like, you do understand, for someone outside of Birmingham, you've got quite a thick accent. So it's just like, it's like someone from being from the South in America.
I've been a big fan of Beryl from the start.
And you hear someone's
Ask
mom
how she
from
is.
the South, you go, hey, partner. It's like doing that. It's the equivalent of doing that. It doesn't mean like you're out to get them or like, oh, this old bag, I'm going to fucking make her look like an idiot by mocking her voice. That's not the thing at all.
I don't know. At first, I was kind of like, "Oh shit, man!" That's just like, I don't know. I felt kind of bad, maybe, but now I just find it really funny. I like the fact she's got so much energy and passion put into her hatred of me
Oh, I have no idea.
and lasting power. She can't quite get over it.
In terms of staying power, though, I think I've always had staying power because I was taught from an early age to have staying power.
Staying power.
So
Staying
it kind
power.
of, it's
Staying
kind of
power.
locked me into that.
Okay.
That's not me bigging myself up. But I don't know, what's your experience of men, Ellie? Do you think most of them don't have staying power? And they have to kind of like go, oh, hang
In the
on.
bedroom department,
Yes.
my ex was the only other person that I knew that could control when he came.
Okay, but no one else.
No one else. That's
Wow.
why most of my conquests have been shit. Just don't last long enough.
You're looking a bit Sarah Connor-like today, I have to say, in the vest.
Oh, really?
The unflattering vest that's crushing everything.
Let's be honest, dude. There's not a lot to
You're
crush.
Terminator 2 Sarah. With Billy Connor hair.
Billy.
Not Billy Connolly, but Billy Idol meets John Connor.
One of the auditors at work literally calls me Billy, full stop. Now he's like, "How's it going, Billy?"
Billy
Like
Wills.
that has become my name. I really like that. I wish my name was Billy. I might change it by Depot, like you did.
The bit that made me laugh out loud, what was that bit in this film, Ellie?
Oh god, the bit with the
You got out of the
fucking
police
bus.
car. He's like, I'm just going to get out of this car now. Just walks out of the moving police car. Goes, just like leaves it behind.
Yeah.
him.
The flipping of the bus as well, I thought was a bit extreme.
It was, because you know goddamn well no one would survive that.
Good God, and she's fine, by the way. This bus literally does like a
Flips
triple
several
lutz.
times.
Through
Hits the
the
side of
air.
the bridge, gets cut in half by the, I guess the, what is it? Not the ropes, but the fucking things that hold the bridge up. Interesting about the
rigid
Golden Gate
stays.
Bridge, it's constantly being painted. Did you know that?
Right.
They paint from one end to the other, but by the time they get to the other end, years later, they have to start painting it again. Did you know that? Bit of
So
trivia for
full
you.
of pointless information.
It's interesting though, isn't it? It's never in a state of unpaintedness, because as soon as they get to one end of the bridge, the other part of the bridge is old enough that needs redoing.
Well, that's a bit of a shit design.
It's a big bridge.
Isn't Bodkin and Brunel? He'd be turning in his grave right now.
Who built that? Yeah, when he gets cut in half by the supports.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know.
ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, isn't it?
It is. And yeah, Sarah she'd have been fucking crushed like a bug. Oh, and look, she's fine, not a scratch.
This is actually an interesting concept now, because this is a kind of doing a movie commentary / review in real time. Is this less enjoyable for you versus doing half an hour on one individual little bit?
Oh no, I quite like that, because you can really like dig apart the scene.
You can really
and
talk about anything but that bit.
Yeah. No, I love the 2 minutes. I really do.
Yeah, it's good. Oh yeah, here we go.
Can you tell
Watch
it's
this
weird?
bit.
Just steps out the car.
Yeah, it's like yeah.
See you later now. In fact, that's kind of like a scene out of True Lies.
That should be a GIF.
Yeah, that should be actually.
Actually, you know what? You could probably just re-edit this slightly, and this could be True Lies 2.
Yeah. Yeah, you probably could actually.
Because he's got kind of True Lies hair. He hasn't got Terminator hair.
Yeah, he's just missing the Harrier jump jet. True Lies is a great movie. I do really like that.
It's a
I think
good
that's in
movie.
my. I think that's in my B.
That was his last
my
good
B
movie, wasn't it?
category,
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, well, what? I don't know.
I
You
did-
say End of Days. Don't
End
you?
of Days. I did.
That
I
was
did
6
like
years
that.
later. That was 5 years later in 1999.
But I don't know whether that's so much I liked Arnold Schwarzenegger. But I don't know. Again, it kind of showed like a different string to Arnold's bow in that film, because it was like his struggle with faith and stuff like that. Again, it was kind of like a little bit. I don't even want to say religious. It was almost kind of like a bit spiritual.
His first acting part, wasn't it?
But I loved Gabriel Byrne in that. I thought he was great,
Why?
because he was really twisted and fucked up, and he fucked the mum and the daughter at the same time. It was so hot.
Well, no, that was the best scene was when he was explaining to him what's the point in being good.
Or when he goes into the restaurant, and like when he's normal Gabriel Byrne, he goes to the toilet, the devil goes in him, and he comes back out and he just whacks his hand inside her top. Like, oh, she had great tits.
Why does he
And
do
just
that? Just because
kisses
he
her.
can.
Yeah, he's the fucking devil. You should know this, Ethan.
For the viewers, don't
got all
write in
excited
or
then.
report me. I don't walk into restaurant bathrooms and squeeze women's breasts.
Anymore.
Actually, now I've said that, it's insinuating that I do. I don't. It's a scene from True Lies. I mean, End of Days.
Maybe when you worked at Maddox.
No? Have you ever been in a nightclub?
Have you ever been in a nightclub?
You've ever been in a trendy nightclub toilet? You can't move in them. There's too many people in there.
I guess the trendiest nightclub toilet I would have ever been in would be Fabric.
Oh, no. Something that was never explained in this film, Ellie, I have to say. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
That's all right, you do it most times.
The fucking dude with the lazy eye.
Oh my god, I did. I sniggered when I saw that guy. I was like, what the fuck? Is this like trying to feel like a politically correct quota? Like,
This guy.
we've got to get a chick in this who's heroic. We've got to get a black dude in it. We've got to get a dude with a lazy eye.
Yeah.
Joy Courtney, he looks kind of downy.
It's like diversity.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's an hour and 30 minutes into it. There's literally a guy who's so bus-eyed when he cries, tears roll down his back. I'm not even joking. This guy with the lazy eye was so distracting and disarming.
I hope that didn't wake the boys up. That's amazing.
Do you think that's funny? Yeah, he was so
When he
bus-eyed.
cries, the tears roll down his back. Dude, that's amazing.
Dude, it almost was though. He's almost like this dude was cartoonishly boss-eyed. I'm not even kidding. It
Does look like something out of a cartoon.
Of all the craziness going on to take you out of the 5th Terminator film in the franchise, this was it. It was just like,
Yeah, as if he'd be in any position of power. Like, mate, I don't even know if you're looking at me right now.
yeah, like I want to find out what his name is because
And what part? Who was he?
What
Was
do you
he
mean?
someone in? Was he someone in Skynet? No.
I can't wait till we get to the 2-minute Terminator of GenisYs and we just have like half an hour on the lazy eye.
That's going to be the
The name
screen
of the
grab.
title.
Yeah. Slack Eye Joe.
Is it Otto Sanchez? Let's have a look. It might be Otto. Is that him?
That's him.
That's him, right?
Although he looks a lot
Let's
more
let's go down
slant.
to readers' comments on Otto Sanchez and see if anyone mentions he's. Oh look, it's all lazy eye stuff.
No lazy eye. Any other? Oh wait, here we go.
I met him randomly the other night at a comedy show. The first thing I did was check out the lazy eye. How did you check out someone's lazy eye?
Both his eyes were normal.
He's really cool, and we talked about him dancing around and ODing on ours. Seriously, everyone was seeing him and seeing it's weird. He'd fake it so often. Yeah, so he hasn't got a lazy eye.
So why would they make him have a lazy eye in the movie?
I have a lazy eye. It isn't noticeable at the time. My eye only drifts when I'm tired or my eyes are on fire. You fucking lazy eye.
Who gives
freak.
a fuck, dude? You're nobody.
Maybe it was under control in real life. Yeah, maybe. Oh,
You
God,
don't.
now I'm
If you have a
confused.
lazy eye, a lazy eye isn't under control.
All right, Otto Sanchez. Let's have a look at your eye.
Show me the eye.
He's a bit. Come on.
It's definitely a little
There's
bit
a touch of,
lopsided.
there's a touch of lazy eye in there.
He's melting. Maybe he had a stroke halfway through his career.
Otto Sanchez.
Maybe he's got a
Lazy eye.
mild form of Treacher Collins syndrome. Maybe only one of his cheekbones formed.
So his eye falls into the empty space.
Yeah. Inner space.
Yeah, no. When I typed in Otto Sanchez L, lazy eye didn't come up on Google, so I don't know. But why would you have that in a film? Why would you like?
That is very bizarre.
Right, so this kid is Skynet. Is it that kid not Skynet, or is that John Connor pretending to be Skynet, or he hasn't become Skynet yet?
He hasn't become Skynet yet.
So the app merges with that boy, and becomes the physical embodiment of Skynet.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, I finally understand the film a week after we saw it. She touches his hand. J.K. Simmons appears in the story, but then disappears again. Oh, this is what I didn't get. Magnetic bullets.
Yeah, that was bizarre.
Was that just made up for the film?
I think so. I don't think there's such a thing as magnetic bullets. What purpose would they serve?
Because they've got a bizarre gun they've designed.
And that was just really quite handy that there were magnetic bullets there. Considering that that's the one thing that can foil this new Terminator.
How convenient that police
How
lock up
fucking convenient.
Otto Sanchez's lazy eye. That's what it's going to be called.
I can't wait.
I can't wait. So yeah, the helicopter chase, Ellie, as we come into the final leg of this show. We're not finished yet, Ethan. No, we're not.
I got distracted by the lazy eye. Wandering.
He utters the immortal line, I'll be back. And he jumps
He
out
does,
of the plane.
and all of a sudden he's flying. What the fuck was that about?
Well, no, he does a kind of skydive slash
Well, he kind of
directing
looks like
before.
he's flying. This isn't flying, this is falling in style. We're not aiming for the truck.
Well, how did he jump into the spinning rotor blades of John Connor Terminator's helicopter and have an intact face?
I know.
Wait here, I'll be back.
I'll be back. And she goes, what? It's like, you should know that line already, babe.
And then they crash John Connor's helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
John Connor kills the security man at Cyberdyne.
Impersonates him on the walkie-talkie.
Sarah Connor and Kyle arrive at Cyberdyne.
Arnie turns up just in time to start. Well, they're both shooting the John Connor Terminator, and then Arnie turns up last minute with his magnetic bullets. I know, with the
Helicopter rotor blade.
yeah, that's the one.
What I didn't understand about this, though, is John Connor just constantly spends the time monologuing without actually doing any action. He doesn't attack or take out Kyle instantly.
Well, we actually noticed that about a lot of the Terminator movies. They just kind of like do this grappling and this kind of fisticuffs.
T-1000 didn't, though, did he? So you saw John Connor, he was fucking running like the clappers. You had to get the fuck out of there by any means
Yeah,
necessary,
true.
or you were fucked.
And the whole blades through the face and
Blades
stuff.
through the face.
Blades in the face. But no, in Salvation with the Terminators, like you said, they were just like constantly like throwing them into walls and stuff when actually you could just punch its heart out.
Did you like the making of the T-1000s and why they were doing that at the same time around time displacement equipment? It seemed really odd.
Come again?
The creation of the multiple T-1000s around the time displacement equipment being
Oh.
pulled out of that kind of pool with lasers. I didn't kind of get it. I would have thought it would be a more interesting and creepy way they were making them versus that.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I kind of liked that. I kind
Really?
of like, yeah. I thought it looked quite cool visually. It was quite pleasing.
Yeah, it's
I
kind of a
just
story
want to know
that
whether that shit's hot or cold, man. What do you think?
Well, you'd hope that it would be the temperature of whatever it was mimicking.
Yeah, but when it's in that kind of form, so that lake of liquid metal,
Oh, cold.
it would be cold.
I think so, yeah.
Why?
I think because Mercury's cold and I think the metal would be a different colour if it was red hot, and it'd be weirder if cause seeing liquid metal but cold would be like a weird thing in your mind.
Just want to run my fingers through it.
Yeah, so
And the fight between the Terminator and the... Because actually when he falls into the liquid metal, he gets upgraded, doesn't he?
Now, why do you think that is?
I don't know. New technology fusing with old technology.
Yeah, spoiler alert, the aging T-800 Arnold
Sauce,
Guardian
not sauce.
falls into the T-1000 making pool.
Making pool.
And
The gene
when he
pool.
comes back at the end, he's like, I'm liquid metal
Well,
now.
yeah, because he comes back out because they think he might be dead because
Yeah.
he fell into the liquid metal. But no, it just actually upgrades him. So do you reckon that means that he'd be even more advanced now? Do you reckon that would have fucked with his like mental learning ability though?
Well, one thing it will fuck with is a sequel. Why the fuck would you want to look like an old Terminator?
I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, I don't know.
And also, why would when the GenisYs kid starts growing up, why would that speed up the time? Sorry, I was playing with your shoe.
That's right. What's he doing to Arnold here? He's like running waves through him, isn't he, when they're
Yeah.
fighting at the end?
And I thought that fight was quite cool. Like he'd like spinning around and then his whole body would change. So all of a sudden the back was the front. I thought that was quite cool.
Yeah, because that's not been done before or stolen from another movie.
All right, but I just liked it in this scene. You let me be myself. What did you like about the scene, Ethan?
I don't know. I still don't know how I feel about the movie. There was bits I liked. There's elements to it I liked.
When I came out of the movie, I felt good.
It's. I don't think
That
it's
might be because of the funny
I'm not
sign
sure
that
how
I
much
saw on the toilet door.
I don't know how much rewatchability it will have as a film.
I'd probably watch it again. Not at the cinema, though.
No, but in terms of like some of those films, sometimes when they're always on TV a lot, and every time it's on, wherever it's in a part in the movie, if you're just doing something, you'll just stop and you'll just watch the movie.
I have a question. It's got nothing to do with Terminator. Do you not find that when they put movies on TV, they're always the same movies? There are certain movies that they never put on. Why is that? Who decides what movies goes out on TV?
Distributors, advertisers, people who, whatever companies are affiliated with the advertisers of that particular station, stuff like that. Also, people just forget about films, don't they?
Such a shame. There's so many great movies out there that just never shown on TV.
Like back in the Disney, they used to put Hammer horror films
In
all
the
the time,
Disney.
and they never put
Yeah,
them
but
anymore.
they do put them on like Channel 4 really late at night, at like 2 in the morning.
No, there was a time in the 80s when the BBC or BBC Two would have like 2 or 3 Hammer horror films, triple bills and stuff at midnight, which I used to watch all the time.
I remember when I used to live at home and we used to get back from the gym because my dad's a gym coach and we'd get back really late. My brother and my mum were like massive sleepaholics. They could sleep through fucking World War III. Whereas me and my dad were always like night owls and we wouldn't get tired until like 2, 3 in the morning. So when we'd get back from the gym, we'd end up watching either some really weird twisted comedy or some Hammer horror. And then once my dad realised I really liked that, he used to then record them for me and we used to watch those. That's how I saw like The Devil Rides Out and things like that.
Is that a good film?
I like it.
What if it still holds up? I have to watch it.
Yeah, but it's all those really shitty special effects though. That's what I like about it. And actually, no, it's actually genuinely quite scary. It's like Salem's Lot. I'd really like to see that again, but I know for a fact that it's the atmosphere.
I said that not 2 or 3 years ago to a girl called Kate, and we watched it, and it wasn't that great.
Salem's Lot?
The bit where the master appears in the kitchen, and he goes,
What, the bit with the boys?
"Must make your choice, Mr. Barlow, or the boy." In his James Mason voice.
Yeah.
And there's the 2 bits where the brother comes scratching at the window. That's really good. There's
Yeah.
bits in it that are good, but overall it's not great. Which is sad.
Should I maybe not? Oh, no,
'Cause I bought it
I'll
on
form my
Dooved
own
In.
opinion.
Well, you know what we should do? We should do a podcast on Salem's Lot, because it was remade, wasn't it? And Mr. Barlow was played by Rutger Hauer. There was a TV movie version.
Never saw that. I do love Rutger Hauer though. He's great.
So there we go.
There we go. Back to Terminator.
And as we wrap up, what did you think of the film? Any afterthoughts before we sign off? This is
How
our longest episode.
How does it end though, Ethan?
Well, it ends with
She now gets to make her own choices.
the
She can live
Terminator
the life how
fights
she
with
wants.
the John Connor Terminator, and he puts him in the time displacement machine, which gets he gets fucked up in all the magnets, I guess, and dissipated.
Arnie is thrown from it.
Guardian gets thrown out of it, which has not happened before in the film.
And then lands in the liquid metal and then
sinks
becomes
into it.
Upgraded.
And comes back as a liquid metal
Because she's like, Pops, we've got to go back in there for him. He's like, he's gone. But of course he's not. And then you see this lovely scene where they're under like a willow tree or something. It all kind of looks very family orientated. And in the movie, you do hear Sarah say, how would you feel like having to live your life on a certain course? You're not allowed to make any decisions. You don't have any choices of your own. But then,
it's
of
like
course,
your life, Ellie.
That's not true. I make all my
Shut
own
up.
decisions.
Yes,
Sorry.
it is, Derek. Okay.
And yet now, because they've, they believe they've completed their mission, she now drives off into the sunset with Jai fat-faced Courtney to live out a life free of strife and woe and Terminators. But Ethan, I do have to ask this question.
Why did you make me do this podcast at 3 a.m?
No.
For an hour and 40 minutes so far.
No. Do you think there'll be another movie?
I'm going to say no.
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 Why? Do you not think that little bit at the end made you think that there could be another one?
Oh, no, it's clearly made with a second and a third one. It was planned as a trilogy. And
Oh, really?
yeah.
I didn't know that.
No, it was like a new trilogy of films, the same way Prometheus was meant to be set in the same universe, but not an alternate.
Let's not talk about Prometheus again.
Not an alternate timeline, but like an adventure set in the same universe with some of the tropes and things used in, or you'd recognise from the other films. This was meant to be a completely separate new trilogy. I don't think they'll make another one.
The only good part of that movie was where she bagged up the android at the end. That was so funny.
Yeah, it should be forgiven for that alone. Michael Fassbender.
Literally, that whole movie was like, this is utter.
Oh my god.
Saved. Oh god, it was like that moment in Dumb and Dumber. Just when I think you couldn't get any dumber.
I don't think they will. I don't think it's done well enough at the box office. I don't know. It's done okay overseas. I reckon it will do about 500 million or 600 million maybe, if it's lucky. And I don't think that's enough to warrant a sequel. Because everything now they want to be over $1 billion or near to. I don't think they consider something a hit really now that warrants a sequel unless it does over 600-700 million. Having said that, Pacific Rim, apparently there's a sequel coming, which cost 200 million to make, made 100 million domestic in America, and made 300 overseas. It made 400 million. So it only made 400 million versus a 200 million budget. But apparently there's a cartoon coming out. There's been action figures, and apparently there's going to be a sequel. So Guillermo del Toro says.
Wow, you got that all out in quick time.
I think that's going to be the same case with Terminator. If it does make a sequel, which I don't know, what do you think? Do you think it'll be a sequel? I know they've left it open for a story because you see Skynet.
They
a bit
have,
of Skynet
yeah.
left, but
I think they might try and squeeze one more. Oh my god, the alien's alive.
Voted.
God, this alien's so cool. I reckon that there's
Alien 3 figure from NECA. Get yours today. It's actually the best one.
Yeah, I think there might be one more movie. Or something. Something's going to come out of it. There's no way they can have that ending without doing something with it.
Yeah.
I think there will be.
I think there won't be.
So, would you tell our listeners to go out and see the movie at the cinema?
I would, so you can follow along and see if you agree with what we've said.
Or just illegally download it?
No, don't legally download it, because I think...
It clearly needs the money.
It does. You should support all films, I think.
Just like we do.
Well, we've seen the film.
We have. We
That's
showed
why
our support.
We've been talking over a copy of it now because we've paid to see it anyway, and it was going to help this show. And also because the energy is so low.
Bowdler really enjoyed it.
Has he seen it?
Yeah. Yeah, he sent me a text message saying...
Picture of his dick.
No. No, it was not. No, because it wasn't, because he sent me a message saying it was really good.
Oh dear. You can't come on this show again.
Well, we can't get him to commit to fucking meet us to do the show.
Yeah.
Come on, Joe.
Well, I think if we get the other Joe on, you'll get jealous and want to come on the show.
There's another Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, Screaming Joe's pretty hot.
And also, I think now I can put 2 more mic stands in a backpack and I can transport the show quickly than doing that suitcase the first time we did it with
that
those
you could
first
probably
episodes.
carry about at least 3 chopped
That's
up
the
dead
second
hookers in it.
suitcase. I mean, the Primark suitcase, the initial one, the ball ache of that. All that stuff is hopefully done now, so we can...
Well, like I said, I think my friend Ed wants to come on the next one, so...
for sure.
That should be
Do
good.
it.
But yeah, anything else you want to add, Ethan, after this hour and 44 minutes?
No, that's it. Thanks for listening. I'm sorry the energy was really low, but we did promise the Terminator. Unfortunately, we were let down by our 2 potential co-hosts.
I think we've covered a lot.
No, we have. I think the mistake we made is my first feeling was to just do it when we got back from seeing the film fresh on Friday. That's what I think.
Well, maybe we could watch the download that you've got and then do another one.
No, we don't need to do another one. We just done one.
I know. An hour and 40 odd minutes
I
of
just
it.
think it would have been. We weren't as jokey and jovial as we normally were. But come on, you've had 61 episodes of this stuff. We're tired. It is.
Well, this one's completely different because we're going through a whole movie all in one, whereas before we have 2 minutes and we talk about.
Oh shit! They're not going to buy the actual that one in 3 months' time.
No, the 2 minutes is very different to what we've just done now.
Yeah.
This was like longevity, which I'm not great at. I like short, punchy. Just kind of like me, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's that then.
That is that.
After all that we looked forward to, it's behind us now, and ahead of us is the 2-minute Terminator 2T
Judgment Day.
T2.
I'm really excited about that.
That's
Plus, I
gonna
just
start
can't
next
wait
week.
to see the movie.
I was going to say, if we have any free time, or if you have any free time, we should watch the Terminator 2 with commentary full length and take notes as we do it. So this time we actually have some bullet points,
Fuck me.
as opposed to Googling as we
It's
go.
like going back to school.
Well, no, if we get the map
Shall
out.
I get us a notebook and some pencils with rubbers on the end? So
Well,
if
I've
we
already done the
need to-
work. You just need to put, like, where it says minute 2, this happens. We write in that bracket, oh, James Cameron said this about this scene and this and that. You know
I've
what I
just
mean?
got that James Cameron song running on in my head
James
from
Cameron.
South Park. Can we play that at the end of this episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. This is the.
Well,
It's
I'll edit it in so it sounds nice.
I knew you were on this show for a reason.
None of this putting the speaker by the laptop bullshit. that was back in episode 20.
That was episode 20.
We got better than this.
You take those bananas.
So yeah, that was it. Terminator Genesis is done. And so is this show. Maybe this should be episode 61 and then we just leave it and move on with Terminator 2. So yeah, next week we'll have Terminator 2 for you. If you want to donate any money, find us on Patreon.
Please donate.
Donate some money. We've just been slapped with a massive bill from SoundCloud, which hosts all this free content, and it would really help if you sent $5.
Come on, guys. Sort your shit out.
Send some money, we'll send you some stickers, and we'll see you in a week and a bit's time.
Hasta la vista.
Baby.
Music on! His name is James Cameron, the bravest pioneer. No budget too steep, no sea too deep. Who's that? It's him, James Cameron.
Systems are normal. You guys hearing the song okay up there?
James Cameron, explorer of the sea.
Yes, James, we hear the song.
Descending to 1,000 feet. I don't see the bar yet. Looks like it must have sunk pretty low.
With a dying thirst to be the first. Could it be? Yeah, that's him, James Cameron.